Hey, YouTube. I'm always talking to you guys about just stuff that's going on, like with me, with things that are just going on constantly, that really needs to be addressed. And a lot of times we don't even get this opportunity to actually talk about certain situations, right? So this is like my part two for the Testament 156, right? Um we have rape situations going on. Actually, I'm gonna say this is part three. We have rape situations going on constantly with our people. Remember Mary in the Bible, how she got pregnant and she was a virgin, she never had sex? We actually, I have actually experienced that, where I'm sitting up there and my parents taught me when I saw my period to douche. And I noticed that my vagina was very enlarged. And I'm like, well, how do I get an enlarged vagina? And I dish and that's it. It's nothing. It's supposed to be some complications there getting in there, but I'm dishing, and I was still not having sex at that time and stuff like that, and I started having issues with that. And I was what, a young girl, like around about 12, 13. And I started noticing I was having those issues, and I didn't even divulge it to anybody because I wasn't thinking this type of situation was going on with our people. I didn't think that we were dealing with rape situations. I didn't think that we were dealing with human trafficking. I didn't think that we were dealing with so many other things that was going on, like from day to day to day to day. So I'm sitting up here and I'm dealing with that, and then know the circumstances that I was put in, didn't know the situations that I was being put in. We got all these people that's trying to control us. They want us to be meek and humble while they be ferocious and beast like and around us like they monsters and stuff like that. But they're not understanding that when you come at people like a monster, you got to understand you might awaken another monster in another person that you ain't never seen before in that person, because they're kind, they're sweet, they're just an all-out wonderful person. We're dealing with this every day. Our daughters are being raped off, our sons are being raped off. This is the messed up part, and don't even know that this stuff is going on. We're dealing with vision compromise. When I sat up there and I realized that I was dealing with vision compromise, I realized that if it came to me identifying my son, my daughter, or my children, I would not be able to. That was a harsh reality for me to deal with. I would need DNA proof to prove that that was my child. And even in DNA, these people lie. They are known to lie. They're known to do all kinds of despicable, ungodly things, right? We was listening to the story of, like, what I learned is that the Old Testament is like parallel to the New Testament. In the Old Testament, they started out lying, talking about they was God and stuff like that. In the New Testament, same thing. You got women popping up pregnant and stuff like that with these illegitimate children, and the men of God didn't even know that they were illegitimate children. Then on top of it, there's other stuff going on top of this stuff. You got men nowadays. You get pregnant, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. They're not telling you that you're pregnant from another man. They're claiming the child, knowing that the child ain't even theirs. And they're a part of this group that's whoring people out and raping people off. And they quick to claim the child, like, yeah, this my son, this my boy, this my baby, knowing this kid is nothing connected to them. Knowing what has taken place with you and everything. And then you go in the courtroom. We got all these murder shows in the courtroom talking about, well, this ain't my child, and that ain't my child, and this is a illegitimate child and stuff like that. Well, We don't know who the hell the children belongs to, because we got women right now getting pregnant that weren't even sexually active. So who the hell those kids belong to? But the only reason why it's going undocumented, because we are caught up in a reality like situation that's unrealistic. Now I'm gonna break this down to you. How we caught up in a reality situation that's unrealistic. Okay, if I'm sleeping with a man and I get pregnant, automatically I'm gonna think it's who, baby? That man's baby, right? There's no question about it. I know who my baby daddy is. I haven't been sleeping with anybody else. But you don't even know that because we being raped off. Then you got this other group. I ain't gonna even talk about how they doing the LGB community at all. I'm not gonna even break that part out. Where now we having sons, but they're recruiting young men and forcing them to be homosexuals from the day of birth. Like they're like selecting these young men and saying, okay, this one's gonna be gay. This one we're gonna turn into a woman. This one we're gonna do like this. This girl right here we're gonna make a man. And they've been doing this for years and years and years, getting away with it. Nobody talked about none of that stuff. We sitting up there, we listening to these street stars, and we listen to Jaguar Riot and all this stuff, and stuff that I'm not even supposed to be listening to because it has a lot of cussing, a lot of foul language, a lot of foulness, period. We're listening to it, and these people are very flamboyant about the lifestyle that they're living. But I'm sitting up here and I'm thinking to myself, we have AI coming out, and I'm like researching the technology and how they find stuff for us and how they do stuff for us and stuff like that.